Out of all the new Mandalorian and Grogu sets releasing this April, the New Republic X-Wing Starfighter was by far and away my most anticipated set out of the whole wave. Of course, being a part of the New Republic fleet, this version of the X-Wing comes in a white and blue colour scheme, which I personally think looks absolutely beautiful. The grey of the nose section does a good job of breaking up the primarily white colour of the X-Wing, and it just helps to avoid this set from feeling too clean in my opinion. It also makes up part of some very impressive build techniques to be found within the front section of the ship that all combine to lend a really nice tapered shape compared to previous playscale X-Wings. The 4 iconic engines of the X-Wing are built using some pretty simple building techniques, but I think that the end result looks great. I don't love the stickers that need to be applied onto the curved surface of the engines, as misaligning them can take away from the look of the set a little, and as you can see, I didn't do the best job of placing one of mine. So do be careful when placing your stickers, or just don't place them at all if you don't want to. Speaking of stickers, there are a number of them featured across the body of the X-Wing, with the New Republic insignia found on both of the upper wings as well as just behind the cockpit. I didn't find these ones all that difficult to place, and I think that they look great when applied, with the colour of the New Republic insignia adding some real vibrance to this set. If I had to nitpick about these stickers, it's that the white of the stickers doesn't match that of the white pieces they're placed on, and while it honestly doesn't bother me all that much, I know that it will be a totally valid issue for some people out there. The streaks of blue running along both sides of the front of the ship look absolutely gorgeous, but I do wish that LEGO had opted to use prints rather than stickers in this spot, as they were particularly hard to line up when applying them and could definitely take away from the overall look of the ship if not applied correctly. An X-Wing wouldn't be an X-Wing without its 4 wing-mounted laser cannons, which I think look absolutely fantastic in this set. Alongside each of the laser cannons are 4 tile shooters, which offer some really great play value, and I personally don't feel as though they detract from the visual appeal of the set either. Moving towards the back, we of course have our 4 engine exhausts, all of which look perfect in pink, and while this rear section of the X-Wing lacks any real kind of greebling, especially when compared to prior versions, it makes up for it with some cleverly hidden storage space for blasters. Accessory storage is often overlooked when it comes to LEGO Star Wars sets, so I am always delighted to see it be included in a set, especially when it's as discreet yet perfectly functional as in this set. Speaking of discreet, this X-Wing does come with landing gear, all of which can be folded up underneath the X-Wing to be hidden away while the ship is in flight mode. I especially like how the rear landing gear both blend in pretty nicely with the engines. It just helps to make for a clean look. Speaking of flying, this version of the X-Wing features a very solid Technic build that allows you to lock S-foils in attack position, all by simply pressing down on a single Technic piece. While perhaps not as satisfying to activate as the old rubber band enabled S-foil mechanisms, this Technic mechanism lends a great deal of sturdiness to the set, and that coupled with the strong build of the front section make this set an absolute dream to swoosh around and play with. The cockpit isn't super detailed here, but it does feature a nice tan interior, as well as a printed flight console piece. Its size does mean that your minifigure will have to lean back in order to close the printed cockpit canopy, but that's not an issue for me personally. To help the pilot get in and out of the cockpit, we even get a ladder. It's a very simple build, but I appreciate its inclusion a lot all the same. Lastly, there is a slot behind the cockpit for the astromech to be placed in. I do feel as though the astromech comes up just a little too high when placed in there, but it's not a big deal. What is a big deal though is that LEGO has finally made a Carson Teva minifigure. Carson Teva is a character that I've really grown to love since his introduction in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, and given that Paul Sung-Hyung Lee is such a massive Star Wars fan, it's great to see him finally become a LEGO minifigure. As we have come to expect from LEGO pilot minifigures, the flight suit looks great, featuring plenty of print detailing, and his face printing with the chin strap and visor complement his bespoke helmet beautifully. Captain Teva also comes with a face print to be used without his helmet on, and while I do like it a lot, it would have been nice to see an alternate headpiece included without the helmet printing at all. But so long as you pretend it doesn't exist while looking at him from the front, it'll be fine. The other pilot minifigure in this set is the new character Colonel Ward, who will be played by Sigourney Weaver in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Her flight suit is identical to Carson's, and she also gets her own unique helmet with similarly excellent printing, alongside her face print to accompany her helmet. Colonel Ward does come with an alternate hairpiece, which is a perfect match to Sigourney Weaver, and it's nice to see LEGO include one in this set. Lastly, we have an astromech droid, which is quite aptly named New Republic Astromech Droid. I do like the green colour chosen for this R2 unit, but there's nothing much to marvel at here with this one. As is unfortunately all too often the case with LEGO astromechs, this one lacks any back printing, which should honestly just come as standard with all LEGO astromechs at this point, and I personally always find it very disappointing when LEGO decides to omit it. Overall, I honestly really love this set. I would say that it even holds its own against the 2018 Rebel X-Wing, which is my favourite LEGO Star Wars set ever, and I have actually spoken about that before in its own video here on the channel. I'll leave that video linked on screen at the end of this video and in the description underneath the like button in case you're interested in checking that one out. I think that the New Republic X-Wing will look great alongside other Starfighters in your collection, especially if you have the New Republic E-Wing from a few years back. As we've already discussed, this set is not flawless and we still haven't even spoken about the price yet. At €70, I don't think this is among the worst priced LEGO Star Wars sets that we've seen released in recent years, but I do think that the price tag is perhaps asking for a little too much of people and their wallets. For me, this set was always going to be a day one buy due to my affinity for the X-Wing, Carson Teva being included, as well as of course wanting to make this review for you. Don't get me wrong, I don't think you'll necessarily be disappointed paying full price for this set if you really want it, but if it's not something that you feel you need as soon as possible, then I think that waiting for this set's price to drop down to even €60 on sale will help to make you feel as though you're really getting your money's worth here. So that's it for my thoughts on the New Republic X-Wing, but I would love for you to share your thoughts on this set in the comments below. If you have managed to make it to this point of the video, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed, perhaps you could like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more LEGO Star Wars reviews just like this one. With all of that being said, I've been Dave, and I hope that you have a great day.